So I want to talk about our bags today because there's a lot of intention that goes into the design and the messaging. Frankly, our small team works very hard on making sure that not only our imagery represents our culture and really the message of our blends, which all align with something to do with the history of either the brand or my journey from being born in Guatemala to eventually starting and running Mayorga. So you always see the Latin American heritage and the culture on the front of the bag, and then the usual stuff you would expect from a coffee bag. You're going to see some description of that specific blend, and obviously you have like the founder story and the history of the company, which you can find anywhere on our LinkedIn or Instagram or myorgacoffee.com. But then the biggest thing that to me is very important is on some bags we write it as our promise to you, on other bags it says regenerative sourcing principles. That's just a function of when they were printed. The principles and the purpose doesn't change. So I'm going to kind of go through them. This one, which is our newest print, which is the winter blend, which you should get, very limited edition. Fair pricing, pretty straightforward. We always pay above fair trade. That's been an established reality for us since we started Mayorga in the late 90s. Not as relevant now, given the quality we buy and where the market is, but just a very easy benchmark. To us, certified organic is critical. In my opinion, you can't really regenerate or heal any soil if you're putting poison on it. And given that we work with a lot of small indigenous farmers, we want to make sure that they're not poisoning their own land, which is typically where they live, and the communities all get water from the rivers and really depend on the surrounding nature. So we don't want to cause any chemical runoff. And obviously for ourselves, right? We don't want coffees that have chemicals all over them. And this is where we get into it's pretty much a new phrase of regenerative farming. Some people are actually making a certification around it. We don't, because it's what we've been doing since the late 90s. We really focus primarily on the organic being the foundation, and then our agronomist who travels to all the farms ensures that the producers are managing a very good agroforestry plan, which provides diversification on the land and on the farm, and really preserves the trees that are indigenous and the plants and everything that thrives on the farm, and create also plans to diversify. And then a water management plan. Water is very important. Make sure that we capture the rainwater in the right way without, choking out the rainwater that can flow into the community and down below the mountain. So that's a very important aspect as well. We mentioned traceability. The foundation of how I started Mayorga is direct relationships with producers. Everything we do traces back to the producers we work with and have known some of them for 12, 15 years. And it's very important that every blend that we create, we know whose coffee went into it, not only for the quality and the consistency, but for us to really understand the impact that we have on communities and our producer friends. Quality, it's a given. I think we don't talk about it enough, but everything we do is specialty grade. Obviously, it's 100% Arabica. One of the things that we don't talk about a lot, which some brands hinge their entire existence around, which is the testing for molds and mycotoxins. We do this actually monthly. We spend a lot of money to do so. And we do it just because it's the right thing. Frankly, a fresh crop organic coffee that is specialty and handled well will very, very rarely present any of those things, but we make sure that we test for them regardless with a third-party lab. And then lastly, collaboration, which to me is really the most important. And it's hard to really communicate on a bag, and there's no seal, there's no specific one-sentence explanation of this, but this is the foundation of who Mayorga is, right? As a Latino, born in Guatemala, raised in Nicaragua, lived in Costa Rica, Peru. For me, collaborating with producers is the foundation of everything we do. We have an agronomist that travels consistently to the farms. I live in Costa Rica. We travel to farms consistently with WhatsApp. I'm in touch with all our producers consistently. And we deal with things like financing, like inputs and getting better access to better inputs, soil studies. So the collaboration engagement is so critical, and that's really the foundation of how we can scale our business with really high quality coffee that actually does good for producers, their communities, and for you, the consumer. So next time you see our bag and you're drinking our coffee, which I'm sure you do every day, take a look at it, and this gives you a better understanding of who we are and why we do what we do and how we do what we do. Thank you.